Hello and welcome to Modiphius and our Dreams and Machines actual play mini-series. Welcome to Avira Prime. Thank you all for joining us again for this episode and the past episodes. And again, if you've not watched them, where have you been? What are you doing? Why are you not there? If you haven't watched them, watch this. Ignore the fact you have no context and then go and watch the other ones that we did on our YouTube channel over at Modiphius Live, which is our new home for actual players. If you have watched the past ones, you have context, you know what's going on, it'll be fine. But before we jump in, let's give you a little recap on the past episode's events, because it was a busy one, shall we say, with a little bit of fighting going on. So to give you the very quick, broad recap, our group here have been brought together from different factions here in the region of New Musgrove to, in essence, deliver a package from New Musgrove to the Deepwoods Archives. This package being an unknown thing that fell from the sky, looks techie, looks old world, but no one knows how to access it, what to do with it, what it is it good, is it bad, is it dangerous, is it safe? But either way, it's important and it needs to be kind of delved into more, and research on it needs to be done. We need to learn how to access it, see what it is, what it does, and see if it's something that could benefit humanity here on Avira Prime. So the group were tasked with taking it down to Deepwood, and they set off. They set a forest on fire. They killed some wild dogs called snarlbacks, and they met a nanogram bear, and then turned him off immediately. And then they went to a place called Saleco Camp, which is another Aviran settlement to the south of New Musgrove, south of the mountain range and the forests there. They met some of the locals there, spent the night, and during the night, Saleco Camp was attacked by a waker. And in last episode, we had the ensuing fight with said waker, which was a very large, in essence, giant eye on legs with two very big guns attached to the sides. And luckily, the group managed to take down this waker with Zeke doing 2 bullseye shots into the middle of its eye, and Cap, who, as you may have noticed, isn't here today, throwing potassium and water into its back and exploding the innards of this mech out. Unfortunately, Cap was thrown backwards, suffering some burns and landing with the base of their neck on a large rock, causing some very severe injuries. And when the group found Cap, they had to do some very quick emergency first aid to repair these injuries. The burns were easy to fix. The kind of severed spine a little bit more so, but they did manage to do the repair. But unfortunately, Cap is unconscious due to this injury, and as part of their recovery, still not yet awake. And we kind of left off last session with the group sat outside the inn, having Jewel, Crassus and Bixby having scavenged some parts from this now destroyed waker, whilst Zeke tried to access its mainframe, see if he could pull any information from it, in which he did pull some very startling information from the computer system of this mainframe, which he has yet to share with the group, and I'm wondering if he will do so when we come back from our intro. So we'll see you all in a second. So, you are all sat outside the inn, taking a moment to recover whilst Zeke sits there with his own data pad plugged into this waker, looking slightly gaunt and worried, shall we say, as he looks over this information he has found. That is the scene that is before us. What do you all want to do in this moment?
Jules just drinking. I think Bixby's with her, right?
Yeah.
Sitting.
I think they're both inside trying to deal with what happened.
Yeah. This was just supposed to be a simple That's not my accent.
Oh, it's Bixby's accent.
That's your accent. That's your accent. And you haven't even spoken yet, and I still took it.
It's that powerful.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, mediators.
That's how traumatized she is.
Yeah. It changed both of our accents. I'm gonna talk like this from now on.
This is supposed to just be a simple transport job. God. Now we're being attacked by machines?
Zeke is seen noticeably as starts scrambling around the mech, kind of like trying to basically date every piece of metal, trying to find at least one piece that is older like it should be to like somehow be wrong.
Well, it looks like the kid's out there freaking out, so
Gosh, we should go out there, shouldn't we?
we should talk to him.
This is why I stay on the rivers. There's no machines.
I get it. Listen, I have a nice tent back at home. I have a banjo. A good life. All right.
Yes. All right, let's do it. Like downs the end of the drink. Like, walks out to whatever Zeke is doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
like this.
hey, buddy.
And is like taking apart a hinge and like digging under the plating to see maybe if it's been refurbished at least instead of not built. And it's like taking it apart is like doing a scratch test, scrape test, putting chemicals on it to test how strong it is. It's like doing all kinds of things to it to be like something will prove me wrong. I can't be right all the time.
Cress is just sitting on the ground nearby, cross-legged, just braiding some kind of rope into his spear. Just I mean, we knew that this might happen, right? I mean, they warned us there was probably some danger, and we did it, guys. We did it. We killed a waker.
Yeah, congratulations. Maybe we should all have like a powwow to discuss what happened and what we're doing next, because this did fall in the middle of their town, and there's a lot of eyes on us right now. So maybe we have a quick huddle.
Yes, well, we did just theoretically save their lives, right?
They better let us out of this damn town.
Exactly. We're not paying to get out of here.
No way.
You think they're going to be
is-
surprised by the fact that we said we're firefighters and we killed a waker?
We could be good at multiple things, right?
No, I mean, I put out a fire. I'll have you know.
That's right.
Expertly done. You just happen to have multiple talents. There's nothing wrong with that.
GM, I have one more question regarding the waker after my analysis. Do the parts that seem to have been made seem like, I don't know how to explain this, good parts put on it or scrapped parts put together to make it? Like, does it seem like a junkyard build or like a clean build?
Make me an insight study.
Insight study,
Yeah.
difficulty
3.
How much spirit do I have? I have 3 spirit. Difficulty 3 means I can regain 1 automatically if I pass. So we're gonna spend a spirit. Okay, I'm gonna re-roll because I rolled 3 dice and got 2 20s. So we're just gonna re-roll. All right, that's a 5, a 1, and a 19. Yeah, we'll keep that. So that's 3 successes because my study's a 3, so I got a 1, and then the other one's still below my insight, so 3 successes.
Okay. So whilst you're scrambling around and testing all these different pieces and different areas of the Waker, what you do discover is that the main eye and legs and body of the Waker appears to be old, as in over 200 years, give or take. It looks like some of the armor plating on its legs appears to be newer than that, and both weapons appear to be in a almost state of brand new, as in attached recently.
The most new, so the armor plating is slightly older, but the weapons are definitively the newest pieces.
Yes.
And the body itself, though, is older.
Yeah,
Like
the body,
core,
the big
the
eye,
core.
and the body core, and the legs themselves are
Like someone
older.
refurbished this.
Refurbish an old Waker because it has all the old cold. But okay, that's what Zeke was still worried about. But it's not as bad as he thought, but still bad.
Zeke, what's going on? What are you?
This is it's not. It is not good at all.
I mean, yeah, it's a machine. It's not good. I think we all know that.
No. Wakers are bad because it could be the Wakers. The dream brings them back. The code, it is wrong. It is twisted. But that is not the problem with this one. This one was modified. Someone improved upon it recently.
Recently? Well, who would do that? No one would dare.
It's what I'm trying to figure out. The core processing, it dates over 200 years. That means the code is correct. But this armor plating, within the last century, these weapons are new. Someone is fixing and fitting weapons on these things.
Well, do you like recognize the tech from anything you've seen before? Like maybe someone you've worked with or a group or?
I don't. Jim, is this any of this information of what I've learned familiar, either personally or like the stories I've heard?
I would say through your life as an archivist someone, you are aware of people being able to remove parts of Wakers and have those parts still be usable and commissionable, like removing weapons from Wakers and utilizing those as usable weapons. In terms of the opposite, why the hell would anyone do that?
That's what I thought. Why would anyone arm the thing that wants to kill us?
Yeah.
So, no. As like spears can defeat Wakers, and archivists, we'll take parts all the time for the code. Spears keep it to improve. The pieces are useful, but no one would dare put pieces on a Waker. Their code means they want to kill us. There's no way around it. To put weapons on it, they have to be aware that these things want to kill us.
So if no sane person would do this, then that leaves. Well, is it? I don't know. Is it within the Wakers' capacity themselves, or is this the builder?
There's still a big question mark in terms of the group that was trying to get control of our special atom. If you remember, we don't know what they can do or if they're capable of bringing back a Waker. But there's a couple things, right? Like if this one came from somewhere, we saw a couple Wakers on the way here. There's, sleeping, obviously. if it got near him, it would have woken him up. So maybe there's something different about this code. Maybe it's specifically sent after something, which...
Yes, no, you're onto something, I think. If this has to do with the special item and this group that none of us recognized, I'd never heard of anyone like them, and nor had the elders, then perhaps this Waker was specifically here for us.
Do I recognize these weapons? Like, are these things that I've heard of or seen on any of the Wakers before? Or does it seem entirely foreign to me?
I would say you do recognize the weapon systems themselves. They have been seen on other Wakers.
Okay.
They're not like a completely... They don't appear to be a completely new fabrication. As it were, they are things you've seen on other Wakers of different styles.
Okay. So it's not foreign like the box?
No.
Okay.
Right. But it should that be true anyway? That means they know that we're here. Means we have to leave as soon as we can.
They know we're here. I don't
Seems
think
like
that...
too big of a consequence or a coincidence, right? For them to this just happen, right? So we got to prepare.
We can't go to the deep with archives. This case, they're not prepared to deal with people that can reassemble pieces of Wakers.
Well, that's not our job. I mean, surely they have some defenses. We're just supposed to bring them the item. I don't see why we should have to go deal with danger outside of it. We knew this would be dangerous, and we're just supposed to try and get there as quickly as possible.
If these things found us already, it had only been awake for a few hours. That means they know. If they know where we are, they're not far.
What are we going to do if we go find them?
Well, I mean, we took down this one. Crassus, do you think you can track where this one came from?
Certainly try. I mean, they do leave, tracks and stuff in their wake. They make a lot of noise, all that. So the chances are there's at least some foliage and things like that. We can try to figure out where it came from.
Here's my thing. As far as I see it, we shouldn't go too far and leave Cap here. They're injured, and we can't just trust that everything will be fine here at Saleco, especially if they were just attacked by a Waker. I think best thing we could do is we go there, we see what's going on, we see if they're following us specifically, and then in that case, we get a warning to the Deepwood Archives.
I would agree. At least then, we spend no more than 3 hours of time to find it, information, and better decision, and then we come back, check on Cap. The Deepwood Archives is more than 3 hours away, so it wouldn't be that far to go see.
Right. Yes, as long as it's close, but we're just they're looking for us, and we're just going to them.
Not what they'd expect, probably.
And this is the moment when Zeke kind of like, almost like chest up, is like, and checks the MP, pulls her, and is like, kind of adjusts its power source. Like, no, if they are modifying Wakers, they are the problem.
Ooh, I just got chills. That's that. Yep. Yeah, let's go. Let's go, kid.
That is my weapon. But fine. You can hold on to it, Zeke.
Put it on my tab.
Yes, ever-growing tab. Yeah, we'll settle that when we get back to Mossgrove.
As Zeke takes the moment and starts, I can attach anything to my tool rig, and I have an extra arm, so we're going to be getting that pulser onto that tool rig for stabilizing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Damn it all. Make a weapon, lose a weapon. Make an item. Well, I got some more supplies from the Waker at least, so I guess let's do it.
Oh yeah, how many supplies can we get from a thing?
You can, well, for a start, if you're going if you're scavenging to replenish, you can get back up to your starting number. If you're trying to scavenge more, then a roll will be had by yourself.
Yeah, because I capped out at the cabin when I pulled the circuit board and all that. So I would like to roll to get excess because I'm gonna need it.
Okay, roll me.
You haven't used any since the cabin?
No, I haven't done any tinkering
Surprising.
stuff yet.
I don't think any of us have used it recently.
Oh, I'm using
Jewel,
supply
yeah.
points
Yeah.
every
Oh,
session.
you're using every session.
If you want to do some scavenging, it'll be an insight survive.
Yeah, I'm survived, but insight. Okay,
Yeah, survive is searching, foraging, first aid.
let's do. I only have one spirit left. I should probably refresh that at some point. Damn. That's two. No, never mind. That's my survive is only one. That's 2 successes. I got below my insight.
Okay. Is anyone else scavenging for
I
additional?
think I
supply
did
points,
it.
or
I
you
did it
good?
last time
Okay.
To
already
replenish.
with the mech, but
I'll try to scavenge for a little more.
Yeah.
oh yeah. I guess why not try and get more? Yeah,
Why not?
there's a giant Waker here. What was
Zeke's
the roll?
thought is
The
we're going into
insight
nature.
survive.
So
Insight survive. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Oh,
Well, I got 1 success.
I got 2.
Okay. I will say, for the purposes of this, you all succeed. Jewel and Zeke both generate an additional point of momentum. And you all find 3 points worth of supplies.
Cool.
spending that 1 bonus to regain 1 spirit, and
Okay.
then
Oh yeah, can I use the bonus as well to regain 1 spirit?
You can. I will also say, whilst you've kind of been sat here chatting and taking a minute, we can class that as a break, which is at least a half-hour rest,
Okay.
and you regain 4 spirit from that.
Oh, okay.
cool.
Well then,
So
never mind.
that puts me back at full now.
Just bank that momentum then.
All right, we are full.
Good.
Bank
Yeah,
that
so we
mo.
can
Great.
In terms of like for recovering spirit, again, you can use actions to do that, or you can use
Yeah.
rest. So you can take
Okay,
a breather,
we've
which
been
is
forgetting.
so you can take a breather, which is a quick rest, which regains 2. A break of at least half an hour regains 4, and if you at least rest for a few hours, probably take some sleep, that will regain 6.
Okay, so yeah, I'm capped out, and because I am an archivist, I gain double the amount of supply points from technological sources. So that
There
3
you go.
becomes 6 for me.
Dang.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I got
And
15
yet,
supply points.
You keep taking mine.
No one knows what I have. This backpack, it just jingles randomly. That's
And I'll say, whilst you've been scavenging a few bits from the Waker and taking this moment, Harold comes out of the inn and walks over to you, and he's like, fucking hell, that was a bit of an ordeal. Thank you is probably the least we can say. I don't know where the elder is. He's probably hiding somewhere, as he usually does in these situations. But yeah, thank you. Like, if you guys weren't here, I don't think there would be as many people alive as there is now. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, your friend, the
Yes.
the one that blew the thing up from the back. I did manage to catch a sight of that when it happened. I've moved them from downstairs. I've put them back up in their room. They appear
thank
to be sleeping. I don't know how long for, but if whatever you're gonna do now, I don't know what you're doing now.
Can
but
you keep an eye on them?
yeah, they can stay here as long as needed. You know, if you want to come back and check on them, then I'll make sure they're okay. Yeah, Regina will look after them, and yeah, if you guys need to move on to wherever it was you were going in the first place, then, you know, they can stay here as long as they need to, and I can always sort something out to assist in getting, you know, maybe someone going with them to wherever it is you're going.
We're just going to go do a little investigating where this might have come from, just to make sure there's no other threats coming in.
Okay.
But we'll be back.
I like
that.
him, but do we trust them with Cap?
Yeah, no, I mean...
Loudly whispers.
He cut us a discount. That's good by my books.
Yeah, Harold here is from New Mossgrove. He's a real class act. Put a hand on his shoulder.
Kind of puffs his chest out a little bit. It's like, hey, like, don't worry, like, care, food, drink, it's from this moment on, it's free.
We appreciate it, Harold. Plus, you know, I don't think Harold would do anything. We know where he sleeps, so, you know.
Inquisitive eye on you. He's like,
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Well, thank
if we
you.
think Cap's gonna be okay here, then I mean they're definitely gonna need some time to recover, so that makes sense.
All right. I guess let's do this. Thanks, Harold. We'll be back. Wait, what time is it? Is this morning now?
It's morning, yeah, because it was in the early hours
morning.
when it all started, so yeah.
Yeah. Let's head out now, I suppose.
When the Waker came in, did it like bash through a wall?
It came from the south. So if you're from where you are, if you look down the main road, where you saw the toll gate in the distance at the end, that toll gate is no longer there.
Nice.
It's a nice, clean, clear road now. Because that's where Benjamin was originally. He was on like the night watch there with his friends, and it had come out of a wooded area to the east, and then came straight through like the main toll area and kind of just wrecked it all in its movement. Do you have a starting
no time like the present.
Crassus, are you going to be doing this tracking for us? I mean, I can try and help however I can, but this is not usually the kind of thing I'm navigating for.
No, I mean it'll be good to have everybody keep an eye out, but yeah, I think I can track it.
All right. I'm wondering if I'm going to... No, you know what? I'll just... I pack on my coat. I go like back up to the room. It's like I add a few things into my coat pockets just in case later we need something, you know, and come out as bulky and jingly as always. All right, ready to go.
Okay,
Zeke has like the gun held ready. He's like checking. He's like scanning and being like, all right, I think I ought to make a scope on this. I can make diffusers at the end. Okay, makes sense now.
It's going to be like the smart gun from Aliens.
I mean, my brain's already. I'm like, spend a supply point, put a scope, supply point, get a mod attached, supply point. Let's go.
Okay, so Crassus, are you taking the lead on tracking where this came from?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
So can you make me an insight survive check, please?
Insight survive. So that'll be 2 dice. I'm trying to roll under my insight
yes.
survive, right?
Can I do a little
I would like to.
assist?
I'm good at both of those, so we'll see.
Okay. It's a DC. It's a difficulty of 2.
Is it possible for Zeke to assist? It's a machine, so I'm pretty good at understanding machine functionalities and checking debris that may have fallen off and other things
If you
to
wish.
like insight study.
Sure. I'll be kind for a moment.
I was gonna say because we're mostly just looking for like.
I mean, you're
Press down
following big
grass
footprints and stuff
and
in the ground.
Yeah. Cool.
I rolled a 1, so that's
That's 2.
Wow.
What did you
2.
get, Logan?
That one. I have I got 1 under my insight and then a 15. So I got a 6 and 15.
Okay, so in total we got a 3. So you gain 1 point of momentum. Up to your maximum of 6. And looking round, with Zeke kind of telling you the sort of weird like movement patterns he knows of Waker's doing, you head south out of the toll, which again has been crushed, and there is no one there guarding the entrance, so you can just walk freely in and out of Saleco Camp. And you head to the east, and you get to where there is a small kind of wooded area just before it gets a bit more open and towards a large mountain area there. And you see some tracks in the ground that kind of match the footprint architecture of this Waker that you have taken down, and you're able to follow them back into this wooded area for a ways. So you head in. You start tracking and following this Waker. And it goes from being kind of a wooded area to being more open, a lot of like kind of shrubbery and ground coverage, as it were. But you keep on, and you're following the tracks quite well. Crassus, you've really kind of honed in on the movement pattern of this Waker, and you continue on. Jewel, can you make me a quickness move?
Yes, I don't like it.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, dropped 1 die. Let's grab another. Quickness move. 2 successes.
2 successes.
10 and a 4.
That's all you needed.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
So as you're moving on and you're making your way through this area, following these tracks, and you've got Crassus kind of jumping ahead and jumping from point to point, looking at these. You're all kind of following behind, because no one walks in a straight line. You're all kind of spread out a little bit. And again, there's like shrubs, there's bits of ground coverage. Jewel, you kick something that hits your foot, and you almost stumble. But due to your agility, you're able to kind of keep your balance. Again, something you've learned from being on rough waters as a river.
Yeah.
But you managed to keep your balance and look down to see what it was your foot came into contact with, and you see another foot.
What?
Attached to an entire humanoid body, lay on the floor, slightly obscured by some of this ground cover.
Oh. Oh, God,
What's wrong?
Jewel, you okay?
There's a body. I do like a sort of drunken stumble is what it appears like. There's a body here. But
How fresh is it?
Yeah, is it like has it been sitting here for a long time? I'll take
This is Bigsby asking Jewel, how fresh is it?
Yeah. And Jewel will do a very like look down, like very I don't know, doesn't want to be there, but is like kind of, I'll take my, what do I have? My thermal staff. It's not on, just to like kind of, if it's face down, kind of like turn it over.
Okay, yes.
So thing.
You use your staff and you kind of give it a nudge. It is not moving. And you use your staff to kind of move it. It is face down. You move it onto its side. And what you see is something, Jewel, you have not seen before. You see what appears to be a human lay on the floor. They are wearing very dark, kind of almost black leather coverings. Where you see exposed skin, it is grey. there appears to be bits of, looks like copper wire wrapped around their limbs. They are wearing like almost a cowl with a hood to obscure their face, but as you kind of move them to the side, you see that their face is also grey in colour, and they have, again, heavy set boots. They appear to have like a bandolier on with some items in it, and you see a weapon underneath their body.
What on earth? Oh, what on Avera?
So I
What
did
is
say
this?
my short-term ambition was one thing, but I think is this a thrall? Because that's what Zeke has been wanting to find. Does this match what Zeke has been like so curious about?
So Zeke, in your time becoming obsessed with thralls, you know that a thrall is a human that lives here on Avera Prime, that they live underground in disused service tunnels, like rail tunnels and areas. They are known to cover themselves in grey ash and wrap copper wires and other sorts of wires and stuff around their exposed limbs and body when heading to the surface. They are usually cowled, hooded, hidden. All the telltale signs there that this could well be a thrall on the floor.
Zeke is running to it and like sliding on the ground to be like, this is a goddamn thrall.
I'm gonna pick up its gun and sort of like look at it and be like, well, mine didn't really do much against that thing last time. What's up with its weapon? I guess it's the.
You're just looting a dead body now, Bixby. Wow, how the mighty have fallen.
Drastic times call for me using a dead guy's gun, I guess.
Okay, well, I don't want to hear another comment the next time I'm doing it, and you're ready to chime in.
I'm just saying he's dead. There, I don't know.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. So, Bixby, as
Zeke,
you go,
Zeke, why are you so excited right now? This isn't even. This isn't a mech, is it?
This is all the signs point to this being a thrall. I have been wanting to see one for so long, since I was like a little tinkerer, just to meet these creatures, but they're people.
We've heard of thralls, even if we don't recognize them?
Yes, you've heard stories of thralls being a faction, a group of people that tend to be more adversarial. They tend to, you only ever see them attacking other settlements, stealing supplies, coming across like almost raiding parties of these people.
And Zeke is like checking pockets, checking skin, checking eyeball. Like it's like I'm documenting all of this.
Zeke, how do you think this thing died? You think our big metal friend killed him?
Can I determine if I see any wounds on it other than like what might have naturally happened for it being a thrall?
Okay, so as you in essence now flip this body over, and Zeke, you're doing a full top to bottom examination while Bigsby is now looting it. Firstly, Bigsby, you find two weapons on this thrall. When Jewel initially flipped it onto its side, you saw that there was a large gun type weapon on the floor. That is a spark thrower. This is quite a large kind of handheld weapon. It's a short range weapon which projects a brief but intense electrical charge to injure or dissuade attackers. There's a lot of different variations on this, but basically it throws a small kind of lightning charge out. But you find that, but then once the body's fully flipped over, you find something that Zeke will very much recognize as a almost trademark weapon of a thrall, which is almost similar to what Crassus carries. with his electro spear. This is a large kind of thrall spear. It has almost a hooked blade on the end. That's what thralls are known for. They're almost one way to describe them is almost a rogue element of what a spear is. So you have like spears being the light side, thralls being the dark side of this kind of heritage in terms of fighting style and weaponry. Thralls aren't known to carry firearms. They're known to have these hooked spears and like barbed javelins and weapons like that.
Yeah, really like close combat.
Yes.
Type
Very
stuff.
bladed, I believe is what I know.
Yes.
And as a spear, how familiar would I be with thralls, or is it just like?
You would be familiar with them. You personally haven't encountered thrall groups, but you have heard about other spears that have gone out in group hunts and encountered thralls and had close quarters combat with thralls. But yeah, Zeke, as you're kind of looking over the body as well, you do see how this person died, as their entire chest has been crushed and caved in.
Like by a weapon or by like the foot of a waker?
To put two and two together in a rough sense, this person has been crushed.
Right, because we're following the pathway, right? Yeah.
With the like electro spear basically kind of like being spotted, Zeke gets real Cloud9 giddy and is like,
And sort of,
Bixby, do you even know how to use those?
I'm guessing the pointy end goes into the person that you want to injure. But no, I mean, like, not particularly. Listen, I mean, I got this spark thrower.
as Zeke is just looking over this spear like, oh.
Zeke, I thought, I've had comments made about the amount of supplies and things that I may or may not have at any given time on me, and I like the shiny things. I like and she's like grabbing her like necklaces and various accessories. I get it. Has anyone told you that you might have a little bit of a hoarding problem?
Yes.
Okay, well, as long as you're aware of it, I hear that that's what matters.
Being an archivist, our little job is to hoard all information and find every little bit of everything that is possible. It's kind of what we do.
Sure.
I don't actually want this. I just, I'm curious because it is distinctly, it's different in the way that it's, the electricity on it smells.
Well, honestly, and Jewel looks at Crassus. I think there's only one person here willing to get close enough to use something like this.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't look quite as good as a Spark Song, but it's not bad. I mean,
is there like a two-spear fighting style? Well, you could invent it.
No, you wouldn't want more than one. And Spark Song's good for me, but I mean, maybe we can use this for something.
Can I see what I would like, being like a purveyor of stories and like rumors from all over, people bringing a new monster up. Can I see if I've heard how they use this, or how like how they differ? Like, what's the just rumors, legends, that type of thing?
Roll me an insight study.
Okay.
See if you can recall.
I'm gonna spend a spirit and roll 3 here. So I got 1 under insight. Let me roll my third die. I got 1 success.
Okay. I'll say you've got a vague memory of thralls using these kind of hooked spears themselves as similar to how a spear would use theirs, but almost a bit more like a halberd or a polearm sort of fighting style as well, because of the hooked end. It's not something they would stab in, but they would use it as more of a swinging motion.
Okay. Well, hell, let's just bring it along and see if it comes in handy.
Yes. And then, sequence, take a moment. I want to do a quick survey of the immediate area and see if there are first any more thralls or other people or creatures in the immediate area. Because my second goal is to try and paint the picture of whether or not this thrall was running towards, away, or was alongside this thing, like to determine the circumstances of its death.
How quickly do you want to survey the area? Do you want to do like a detailed?
It's not gonna be a detail because I want us to keep going, but I just want to try to do like get a scan of the area to see if there's any others, and then determine the effects from that.
Okay, so it'll be an insight survive.
For assist, it's just 1 die, right?
Yes.
My hand scanner does not do anything here. Okay. Difficulty.
Just because I think, yeah. Oh yeah, what is the difficulty?
Difficulty on this will be 2.
2?
Yeah.
I think I want to. Could I use my supply points to make like a quick drone to give me like a bird's eye view to make scanning easier? Kind of like get some pieces and like helicopter, like those spinning top things you throw and it spins to get like a capture of the area.
I think that would probably require slightly more than supply points.
Okay, it was worth a shot.
Yes. You make like a torch or like just a quick piece of tech. Yes, something that's going to be remote controlled, relay images, stuff like that. I'd say it's going to be a bit more than supply points.
All right, then we'll just go with the 2. I will spend 1 spirit. It can't hurt to go for 3. Insight survive. That's 2 successes.
And I got 1 success.
Okay, so you generate a point of momentum.
I'll refresh spirit.
I think Joel would help because I think the entire point of us coming out here is also like, I don't know, were they responsible? Is this the people that we're looking for?
So the 2 of you kind of get up from this, the corpse that you kind of all stood around, and quickly start kind of moving around the area, taking a bit of a wide berth, as it were, to see if you find anything else in this kind of low-lying shrubbery and ground coverage that has obscured this, or had obscured this thrall body. You take a minute and you look around and you head, Zeke specifically, you head in the direction you were heading already, and you kind of move to the opposite side of the Waker tracks that Crassus had found, and after a moment, underneath a shrub, you find another body.
I would like to investigate first to determine if it's a thrall or someone else.
On first look,
more dead bodies.
It is a thrall. There it is, again, telltale grey coverings to their skin, copper wire. You see even though they're on their back, you can see that they have been crushed. Their abdomen is heavily impacted. You see that they were carrying a set of weaponry on their back, which appear to be thrall javelins, long sticks with like 3 spiked ends wrapped in barbed wire, but they have been broken due to the impact of the body being pushed into the ground. Taking a moment just to look at them and kind of investigate the body itself. I'll say you don't need to roll this because they're not going anywhere. They're dead. But you do kind of look at them. And
they start getting up and shambling away.
That's a different game to make. But looking at them, you see that their left shoulder is uncovered. Their kind of cowl and hood and that has been moved, and their left shoulder is uncovered, and you see something you haven't seen before. From their shoulder, from the skin of their shoulder, you see what almost looks like a black crystalline structure emerging from their body, almost like you broke open like a geode and you see all the crystals inside, but it's black and it's emanating from their body.
Interesting. Do I believe? I think I have a hand scanner. I want to try to understand what this chrysalis is. I can use it to scan and study the environment in detailed ways. It's good for forensic analysis of an area, finding secrets otherwise undetectable. So I would like to double down on this area and this crystalline. I want to scan the area and get more detail on this crystal specifically to understand what that is, as well as paint the scene.
Okay. Give me 1 second, because you're asking me all the questions now. Let me find it.
You gave me a crime scene.
I'm throwing a lot of clues at you here. So, looking at the crystal itself, it appears to be organic, or it was formed organically from the body, but it appears to be a part of some form of mutation that has caused it. But it is an organic deposit of minerals that has crystallized as part of its growth from the body. That's the best you can get from the hand scanner currently.
I don't have a way to study organic things. That's not my forte. I am going to take some. I'm going to try to break off some of the crystal to try to like store.
You can, not just with your hands. You would probably need like a bit of a blunt implement to smash a piece off.
Yeah, I'd probably take. I have like a bunch of tools. Like I have my toolkit, so I'll take like hammer out and try to chisel off.
You break a piece off. As you kind of pull it away, there is a little bit of kind of blood on the underside of it.
I'm gonna put this into one of my many like random containers. And I want to see if I can try to preserve it. If it's organic, I don't have. Could I use myself? I want to preserve it. Does it seem like the crystal is decaying like the body would?
No.
It seems preserved in its own right.
It seems very much,
I'm gonna leave it like that and then continue trying to discern the scene, if it was like the thralls were fighting this thing or
kind of looking at the position of the body and the other body as well, because there are now two that you have found, and the footsteps of the waker. It looks like they potentially were alongside it, but have somehow gotten in the way and have been stepped on.
So like their weapons seem unfired, like it wasn't a conflict.
Yeah, the weapons look unused.
So it looks like they were kind of coming the same direction where this was coming, and they got stepped on along the way.
Yes.
So right now it's currently under the theory that thralls were involved with this waker that had been refurbished.
Who knows?
So after doing that scan, kind of will bring this information so far. There's a second body, so I'm also going to check the other body. Since Bixby did the first one already, I'm going to check if this one has anything I can find other than the crystals or something on its pockets, on person.
Yeah, that can be what I was assisting with too. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't have the tech of like scanning and just being like.
The two of you search this particular body, and kind of going through the clothing. This one also has a bandolier on it. You find a couple of, hold on, I had them listed here. You find a couple of stun grenades, specifically 2 stun grenades on the bandolier near the bottom, so they haven't been crushed with the body.
Towards the jewel.
Yeah. Towards the top of the bandolier, you find in a couple of the pouches that they've got there, the remnants of something. There's a little bit of metal in there. There's some powder, but it has been crushed by the presumed waker that stood on this person. So whatever it is, it's unusable. But as this one is on their back and more splayed out, you do search through the large cowl it has on, and there is a pocket, and inside the pocket is a small little data pad.
I just like hand that back to Zeke. I'm like, yeah.
Yep. Immediately, Zeke is going to try to access the data pad as is, seeing if it has any power to do so.
Yeah, I'll say, just knowing your tech level is as high as it is, I'll say you have a look at it. It appears to be slightly broken, but it takes you a matter of seconds to just kind of fix it. And taking a look, it doesn't appear to be a standard data pad that you would use to just look through information and stuff like that. It appears to be a wireless transmitter. And taking a second to kind of look around it, you notice that on the side there is a small kind of little flap that opens. And you do it, and there is something in there. You pull it out, and it appears to be, for a better term, an access card.
An access card that was used to like access the data pad, or it seemed like a separate thing?
Seems like a separate thing. The data pad was used to maybe transmit what the access card was for.
Do I have, with that part of the waker that I was able to determine where someone was able to reprogram or like awaken in someone, does it seem similar to that port, like that access card is connected to that port kind of thing?
Possibly. It's of a similar size, but it's from your recollection of the access port on the back of the waker and this, it's similar but not the same.
Can I comfortably deduce that this data pad and its access card was some kind of remote connection to the waker?
No.
Okay, separate things. Can I determine from the data pad what this access card is attempting to work with? If it helps, I also have a bypass kit in case there's anything that's blocking me. I have that as a equipment truth to help deal with things like this.
Make me an insight operate, and I'll say, because you've got the bypass kit, the difficulty is reduced by 2, so the difficulty on this is only a 1.
Okay. Let's do that then. I'm gonna spend it just to be safe, because I can use my backpack and it makes everything refresh. Cool. That is a 3, a 19, and an 11, so that's 3 successes.
Okay. And you only need the 1. So, utilizing your bypass kit to kind of hack into the datapad and what it does. It looks like the datapad is, again, a wireless transmitter that sends the code of whatever is connected to it to a receiver, in the basic terms. But what you've been able to deduce from kind of hacking into it is that the card that was connected to it, the code that was sent was an unlock and lock code.
Can I determine where that code is going to, tracking its like signal path?
No, because it's you can ask, you can use the datapad to send the signal to unlock, but it is not being picked up in your current location. It is not being picked up by anything.
Got it. So I feel like it's a proximity thing. It needs to be within range.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will say the travels you have taken at this point, you're about maybe 2 hours into the 3-hour time frame that Zeke determined.
So with that, I'm going to share with everyone else. They were walking with the Weka. These two were unfortunately in the path of the Waker on its approach and were crushed.
They were walking with as in
And perhaps escorting it, in my understanding. I understand in the same way that spears would accompany gatherers to harvest locations. I don't know beyond that. This datapad has access to unlock or lock to open, secure something. I do not know what, but we are still an hour's way from where the Waker was stirred.
Okay, well, that's good to hold on to. Maybe we can get in and get a closer look wherever they came from. But that means the thralls are working with potentially whoever is after us, or maybe it's been the thralls this whole time. It would be good information to bring to the elders either way.
Agreed. And I have the datapad. I have accessed the information and has been saved and stored. And I have bypassed, so now I have control of this in case anything occurs. I have control of this information and device.
So if we take that thing where we're headed, you say it does some sort of like unlocking feature. So it's like a key.
It is like a digital key, yes. I know archivists have done something similar. In order to access special rooms, you need to have the datapad for remote access. It's not as simple as a key lock. It is a digital key. Though I don't know how this one specifically works, since it's not how the archivists may attempt to secure their locations.
All right. Well, I guess let's walk around and click that thing till something opens.
Well, yeah, let's continue onwards following the tracks then, yeah?
Good. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Grasses, after you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hoists
And
up the spear. Starts looking for more of the tracks.
I do want to. I'm gonna expend some of my inductive charger to recharge my hand scanner, and then use the supply point to recharge my bypass kit because they need a break. But I can spend power from my device and supply points to recharge devices on my tool rig.
Okay. No problem.
So I just want to do that.
Yeah.
So the charger's now drained to repower my devices.
Cool. I'll say, Zeke, you can do that whilst you continue on your travel. Crassus, you pick up the tracks and follow them on, and you continue on. I will say, without having to roll Crassus, as you continue on and you're following these Waker tracks, you do now see that there are human footprints running alongside the Waker tracks, but like maybe 5 or 10 feet out on either side. And they only begin from where the bodies were left. But you guys continue on, following these tracks and following Crassus, and a good, say, 45 minutes of following them passes, and at this point the landscape around you changes from this like low-lying shrubbery and floor coverage into more rocky, craggy areas as you're approaching what appears to be the mountain range. The mountain range you pass through from New Moss Grove, it kind of crescents around where you were, so you're now coming towards kind of the eastern tip, as it were, of that range. But you move into it and you're kind of, there's a slight incline in the area, but you're following these tracks, and a few more minutes pass and you reach what appears to be not quite a sheer cliff, but a very steep sudden incline, where this kind of mountain is before you, and the tracks make a very harsh left turn. You follow them, you continue on, and as you kind of follow them along this steep incline, it gets to a point, and Crassus, you stop, very abruptly, as you see along this steep incline, as you look to the left, you see a large metal door, say 20 feet high, 30 feet wide, just there on the side of this incline.
Well, I'm not much of a tech person, but this is probably what that key's for.
Yeah, I think you are right. I do believe we should be ready in case something on the other side is not happy about this. And like once
I agree.
everyone's
We don't
ready,
know what'll be inside.
Yeah. Danny, have we, is this like a normal amount of like large metal door? Is this like a bigger structure than we would expect out here? You know, like.
So you wouldn't expect anything out here.
Okay.
This
so yeah,
this
it's like unusual. Yeah,
an unusual find, as it were. You're not aware of anything being here specifically. There's only one thing roughly close by that you, Jewel, would know of specifically, and that is what's known as the Canal Tunnel, which this mountain range that you're on. There is a southern exit of that, and there is a well-known mysterious tunnel. Basically, the river flows north from the south into this canal tunnel. That is potentially a 60-kilometer tunnel through the mountain for the canal, but no one's ever navigated it and survived. So it's kind of a stay away area for rivers.
Yeah,
but that's
okay
towards kind of the southeast of where you are.
Okay. Yeah, I guess let's be prepared. Are we just going to open these doors? I mean, this is going to be loud, isn't it, if we go through this way?
it could be.
Okay, I guess maybe let's have the rest of us hide. Just in case.
Not a bad idea. Then we can see what we're getting into, you know?
Yes, who's going to open the door?
Zeke smiles. I will. And starts drawing glyphs on the floor in front of me for glitch and discharge, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll go find. Are there like bushes or something nearby, or rocks or something we can hide?
I'd say there are rocks and boulders that have fallen from above that are big enough for you to kind of duck down and hide behind.
Yeah, let's go position ourselves. Behind that, sort of like peek over as this door is about to get open.
And if possible, is that far enough that I can even hide there and still have enough signal to do the door? Can I tell the signal range?
I'll say you need to be pretty close.
Damn, I thought so.
Okay. I'll stay with Zeke just in case. I mean, I've got the glyphs. If a wake or something comes out, we'll be okay. Frankly, I'm more worried about more of these thralls or something like that, so I should stay with him.
Oh, all right.
As we're behind the rock, I'm like, what do you think the odds are that Waker killed everybody in there?
I don't know, 70% likelihood.
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, we're just behind the rock, like they. If they want to put themselves out there, by all means. Although Zeke does have the item. I guess that means we'd have to go in after him.
As Zeke opens the door.
So Zeke, you start tapping away on this little datapad transmitter that has this access card in, and you enter a code that sends the signal out as you're stood maybe 5 feet back from this large, almost bunker-sized door. And you send the code and you hit transmit, and for a couple seconds there is silence as nothing happens. And then you hear a small digital beep, and on the right hand side of the door you see a small light kind of pop up along the border of the door, as it were, the edge. And
something's happening.
You all hear an audible kind of shunt as the door itself parts in the middle where you saw no seam. This was just one solid thing. You saw no seam, but then it parts in an overlapping kind of hex fashion, and slowly slides open with only darkness inside.
Okay, there was no immediate death. Perhaps it's okay for us to...
It's a good sign.
Go look inside.
I guess I'll go through my see if I can pull out a housing unit and some battery refraction glass.
Wait. Jewel like hurries out, gives Zeke one of the communicators. She's got a pair of communicators. Gives Zeke a communicator, like, let's just know what you see, and then runs away.
Testing.
Yep. We hear you.
I'm gonna make a flashlight, and I would like to, just in case, make it adjustable, so it's not. I can either make it a regular one or focused, help with illumination control.
Yeah.
I'm willing to spend the extra to do that.
Yeah, no problem. That's easy enough.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I would say you wouldn't have to. You just use the normal amount of supply points to do that, and you've just got the little like retractable end on it that kind of goes whoop, whoop, whoop.
Perfect.
So yeah, you make a flashlight, and you've got the communicator. You're stood there with Crassus next to you. What are you doing? What do you want to do?
I'm going to. I would like to. I have my backpack for EGOT. I'd like to see if I can affix it to like the shoulder, so I can at least try to have free hand. I don't want to.
Yeah,
do that.
That's easy enough with the gear you've got.
Okay. Let us see what awaits, and we'll like not hesitating, but like nervously walk in.
Okay.
Press has his hand on his spear, kind of looking around, seeing if we can spot anything, see any movement.
Okay. So the two of you head in to this black void of nothingness in the side of a mountain. As you step in and you've got your torch, you can see that the walls are, again, like it's a 20 foot high by 30 foot wide entryway. As you step in with your torch, illuminating the walls and the ground, which seem very metallic in structure and in material. And as you step in and you take, say, 3 or 4 steps in, you hear an audible beep, and you hear the sound of static, almost. Not a sound you've not heard before. It's almost like an electrical charge. Static is like a form of generator is powering up. Okay. But you've heard this sound before. This isn't like what is charging up here. And you see lights start to turn on, maybe 50 feet down, and build their way up towards you. As this tunnel starts to illuminate towards you. And as the lights kind of turn on and you see this large room, you see that there is another door at the end, not 20 feet by 30, but more 20 by 20, slightly shorter on the ends. And it is partially open already. Bixby and Jewel, as you're kind of looking over the rock and you see this light building up, it gets to the point where the light just in front of where Zeke and Crassus is stood lights up, and then the door closes behind them.
Wait, can you open the doors back up?
And here's my nervousness. Can I hear that?
Ooh.
Because you explain how big these doors are, and my tech brain knows how signal works.
And receive digital radio over distance. Work over limited distance, no more than 1 kilometer. Interrupted by terrain like hills. But they also, good to know, send also still images and video. So I think there's a whole monitor thing.
We would also hear the doors close behind us, right?
Yes, you would. The doors closed a lot quicker than they opened. I will say that...
It does say, I will read the part that says, radio signals are risky, and digital ones especially. They can be detected by wakers. Each time a message is sent, using a communicator, add 1 to threat.
Oh,
my
dang.
goodness.
I will up my threat now.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
That's good to know.
I will say that
Now Danny's like, yeah, it does work. Keep doing it.
you can hear each other through the doors, but there is no image transmission. It's just audio.
Just audio? Okay.
Do you reply?
How many messages
Come on, it's
do you
got to
want to
be like
send now?
per exchange.
I'm going to
Per
first
word.
check the data pad.
No.
Do I still have access to the...
It
do
still works,
Can I tele-
Yeah, it still works. The data pad you've got.
I could, if need be.
But you want us to just stay out here? Seems risky.
I can open it for you to come in. I don't know what happens if we open it again. Like, and Zeke's eyes are like down this lane where the lights is just like staring, seeing if something happens.
Maybe leave the special item with us? Not that I think anything will happen to you, just in case.
No. Zeke, we got to get him in here. What if something, if we're Wakers here or more thralls or things like that? We can't split up.
That's why like Zeke's listening and it's real quiet in here. So it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to come in? I don't know if it'll close immediately or not again.
Yeah, yes. We're not that far. We're just behind a rock.
Zeke, like nervously, like a little bit shaky. He's like, okay. Opens, does the thing to
All
try
right,
to
come on,
open the door
Bixby.
again.
We're going in.
So I will open it. Hopefully it opens.
It does. You press the button and you hear an audible beep, and the door opens slowly.
I'm gonna be honest. I was a little hopeful that it wouldn't work, so we didn't have to go in the creepy tunnel. But
I agree. Yep. All right. In we go.
all right.
Jewel kind of like nudges Bixby to kind of walk in front of her. You've got this, yes.
All right.
And we join. Oh yeah, this is really creepy as anything. Did you see the way that the lights like?
It's good lighting.
Yes, yeah.
Well lit. I'll give it that.
Okay, let's continue. I would like to have my hand scanner. It lasts. It doesn't say how long it lasts, but it says I can use. Like, it doesn't say it's limited to one use.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be basically keeping it running to scan as we move as well. It helps me see anything that is not detectable by normal human sight, smell, hearing, etc. Basically, it's a super sensory device.
Okay. So you step forward. You all hear an audible beep, and the doors close behind you. And you continue forward. Again, this corridor is 20 foot tall by 30 foot wide and about 50 feet in length. It's very much bare. It's just kind of a metal ceiling, wall, floor, with nothing else in there. There are markings on the walls. There is a mixture of lettering and numbers. They don't specifically form words. It's just more like markings and serial numbers and such on the walls. But you get towards the end where you see this other door, this 20 foot high by 20 foot wide, that is open. I would say a good 8 feet in the middle. And there is no light beyond that door, apart from what is kind of being beamed in by Zeke's shoulder lamp. As you're walking,
I will take out. I have an illuminator.
okay, yeah. So you now have 2 lights.
And we'll take that out as we approach. Yeah,
Cool.
darkness.
So the light kind of shines into the doorway. It doesn't immediately light anything up. It kind of gets a little bit absorbed in the darkness as it's not hitting anything to reflect back. Zeke, your little hand scanner, as you move forward, it's not picking anything up out of the ordinary. Again, I feel this is very much a scene from Aliens 2. We just wait
So
for
I really
all that
wanted to be
motion.
like on the video. It's like beep.
Yeah, it's
right
a
in
green
front of you.
screen as
There's
well.
nothing
to get the
there.
grid. But you continue on, and again, it's only 50 feet away. You reach this open doorway. On the door itself, it does have markings. It has A37X written on it.
Does so far this bunker-like structure have any familiarity to anything I know at all?
No, it's not
Okay.
similar to any area that has been reclaimed or reused by archivists that you know of.
Oh, I guess that's a good question. So, unlike the archivists, which tend to use like refurbished areas, this place seems "quote unquote" intact. Like,
Yes.
okay,
Question for you. The font, the A37X lettering, is that anything like the UWRD like font?
Ooh, very good
look like-
question. Very good question.
font lives matter.
No,
No. Okay.
no, it's
Different
different.
manufacturer.
Yes, it appears to be a different font used. They're both very kind of what's the term? Angular. Very print. But they are different fonts. There is no Comic Sans used or Papyrus.
Okay. Good.
So just so you know, they're very
all right.
strong fonts, shall we say? But they are different,
Okay.
distinctively different.
Okay. Cool.
And I do want to make it known that I am attempting to, since the communicator can transfer information, I'm trying to capture everything that's happening with my hand scanner and like keep that data for later.
Okay. So in essence, you're trying to record as much information as you can.
Yeah, audio, video, anything that's happening.
Okay.
All this is information that I know the archivists want. So
Yeah, not a problem. You do that, and again, you're at this doorway now. I've got to ask the question: are you going through?
Zeke is oddly brave enough, and with Crassus over here, Zeke's like, "We got this, right?"
We've gone
As Zeke
this
goes and like
far.
nudges
Wait,
Crassus a little bit.
what is the inside of this space like? Is it just open and empty, or is there stuff?
The first 50 feet you up to this point was open and empty. As you reach this kind of 8 foot wide opening in this 20 foot by 20 foot doorway, and you shine your light in, it looks like another large space. The big difference is that the ceiling isn't 20 foot, it's maybe 40,
Okay.
and the width of the room is like, from shining, you unless you peek your head round, you can't see the sides in terms of size. And it does look like there is stuff in here. It doesn't look like an empty room. It looks like there's quite a lot of things for the minute,
Okay.
shall we say, in there.
And it's dark in there currently, right?
It is dark in there, yeah. It's only the two lights that you have that are illuminating it.
Yeah, at the entrance, I'm gonna, if I could just grab like a piece of maybe rubble, scrap, metal, something. I'm like, Crassus, can you just throw this as hard as you can in there? That way we can hear if something moves or responds to noise in there.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. So we kind of look at like the entrance. You say there's like a lot of stuff around. See if there's anything that like could reasonably toss.
I'll say you could probably grab
I'm gonna
a piece of
hug the
something.
wall. If they're about to throw, I'm just gonna sort of back away.
Yeah. So I'll say, just looking in at the immediate entrance, you see that there is a large loose piece of like corrugated metal that you can pick up and throw in, almost like flat, so you could kind of like frisbee it in.
Yeah.
Ultimate
I
style.
think this will work. Just toss this in. Perfect.
Yeah, and I'll have the hand scanner like focus on like the room to see if I can pick up any minute sounds or something.
Yeah. Crassus, you fling this piece of metal in. and after say 1 second, doesn't take that long, you hear it like clatter against something and then like cling clang clang as it hits something that has blocked its path, and it falls onto something and then falls off that something onto the floor.
Yeah, nothing
And
beyond
then,
that.
no, there was a slight echo as the sound leaves that room and into this large empty room you were in, but then then it is silence afterwards.
No audio response. No response to light attempting to reach inside the room.
Well, it looks like we gotta just and then Bixby just runs into the room.
What? What, into the darkness?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
Like, you don't have a light.
Guys, it's dark in here.
Wait, Bixby, come here. And Joel like sort of hands Bixby the illuminator,
They like
Okay.
grab it.
and I'm going to reach into my coat and do my once per session just what they need talent. This isn't an item that's like listed, but it's pretty like straightforward, I feel like. But I was hoping for something like night vision goggles type thing.
Interesting. Okay, I will say. I'm going to say
assume they
yeah. I'm gonna
exist
say
in this
yeah, they'll
world.
exist. You can definitely pull something like that. Yeah.
How much? What kind of cost do you think? Like similar to?
You know what? There's tactical lenses.
Yeah, there's a tactical lens, but it doesn't quite describe it the same
No, it
way.
doesn't. Yeah, and a Weaver lens is closer, but also a Weaver lens.
Yeah,
I'm going to say it would probably be.
the Weaver lens is like 4 coin.
Yeah, I'm going to say
You want just-
roughly the same, 4 coin.
Okay, so I will use 2 supply points for because they're each worth 2 coin for this talent, and pull out some night vision goggles.
Okay.
And so I hand Bixby this illuminator, and I'm like, "Have at it!" And I put on my night vision goggles, and I stay back at the entrance to like see what's happening.
Okay.
Try and observe what happens.
Yeah, you give Bixby the illuminator, and Bixby, you are in the room now, so you're able to kind of shine the light round. Whilst you do that, Jewel, you put on your night vision goggles and stand there expectantly waiting for something to happen. As they kind of engage your goggles, you're able to see into this room, especially with the light from the illuminator and Zeke's torch. It adds that extra level of refractive light that makes your night vision goggles work even better. And as everything kind of lights up and comes into focus in your goggles, you all hear a slight sound of static again, as the lights suddenly start to turn on in this room now that there is someone in there. Jewel, you are almost blinded by the light because you've got night vision goggles on. Someone's just turned the lights on.
Ah! What the hell?
But
Damn it all.
the room begins to illuminate from the back again, and you can all now see exactly what is in here. And then it starts to shoot. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. There's nothing like that. You look inside, and you can see that it appears to be some form of laboratory, workshop, engineering space. You see along the sides, along one side, there is a lot of big kind of industrial racking with machine parts, raw materials, like large chunks of like nanometals and almost steel-like things on that side. And on the right-hand side, you see like big industrial winches and harnesses hanging from the top that would hold up big pieces of machinery to be worked on. As well as a lot of like workbenches and desk space, and a lot of storage as well, and cupboards and like trolleys that are moved around that have something on, so you can grab your tools from the trolley whilst you work on this, and you can move it around to the other side and so on. So it looks like a very large workshop. At the very far back, you see another door. This one is 20 foot by 30 foot. Again, fully closed, fully sealed. But But yeah, and again, this room is probably 60 feet wide by 40 foot high because of these big industrial winches and kind of like cranes that are along the ceiling. It's bigger to hold large machinery within there.
All right, I guess let's push through.
I guess, like, while I'm in here, I just want to look for any like audio logs or journal entries about. Just I want to see if I could figure out what they were working on in here.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Make me a Insight Survive.
Insight Survive. Okay.
Yeah.
I got 1 success, just under Insight.
Okay. I'll say you begin looking around and you're kind of picking up. There are a few data terminals like scattered around, and some very old looking like paper books with text printed on them. Very rare to find. But you look around and you're looking at these and you see that there appears to be like some operation manuals on machinery, and you look at the data terminals. None of them seem to be powered. Seem to all be without power. But the manuals talk about generators and hydroelectricity. But the data terminals themselves, you can't turn them on.
Hey, Zeke, check this out. I got some Archivist candy here as I hold up one of like the books, like the manual.
Zeke's like, and is going to immediately try to just flip through and let the recording catch all of it so I can have it digitized in a like review later, and then hold on to the book if I can.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Yeah, it's I heard about these. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Doesn't look like it's a good story or nothing, but
Zeke is actually drawn to the door further. Can I tell how much power is going through this facility right now?
I would say just from knowing the sound of the generators that have been utilized to turn the lights on, there isn't a lot of power going through the areas that you're currently in, shall we say.
Because Zeke is fascinated with the fact that there's this like traditional manufacturing, and is curious to how deep their crafting and manufacturing goes. Like there's a long-term ambition that's drawing me towards like deeper. So I'm ignoring a lot of this traditional manufacturing, and I want to go to the next wall that's closed. And
Zeke, are you feeling all right? Doesn't this interest you? Usually you're scrambling over things.
The first room, empty. Perhaps is where the Waker came from. This room, manufacturing. To build something. That means this facility is a plethora of potential. I want to know what secrets they are hiding.
Okay.
And just to point out, that big door is about Walker sized. So if they're keeping another one in here, my bet's on behind mystery door number 2.
Right, and you didn't see anything? You didn't find anything that sort of like a map of this facility or anything? And Jewel goes to like help and actually start looking as well, because now that all sounds scary.
Okay. Jewel, make me an Insight Survival.
Okay. I'm gonna use a spirit. You know what? What's the difficulty here?
It's going to be a 2.
I'll use 2 spirit. Why not? Ooh, yes. Okay. There's a 1, so that'll at least be 2, and then a 9 is 3, so 3 successes.
Okay. So you generate a point of momentum from that.
Do we have excess momentum, or is that...
We're full right now.
Yeah, you're
So I'll use it to get back a spirit.
Okay. So you start looking around, and you begin by looking in the same area Bigsby was looking, and you don't see anything outside of what Bigsby saw. In that area, what you do notice is that all the data pads and the books that were over there are all covered in a layer of dust and a slight layer of debris. But you move around the right hand side where the big like winches and stuff are on the ceiling, and you move over to a workbench that appears to be almost dust free, as if it's been like wiped off, and there is one data pad on that bench.
Okay. Look at it. Do I know how to... I mean, I can operate a data pad, right?
Pad. Yeah,
a tech level 3. Okay.
You look at it and you pick it up, and it is not... There is no dust on it at all. You press a button and it turns on, unlike the others. And you start having a look at the data on it. And at first, it just looks like there's a lot of corrupted files that don't really mean anything. And then there is one file that appears to be uncorrupted. You can access it and open it, and there appears to be a Word file within that that is password protected.
Zeke, I know you're so excited by what's behind that door, but let's just get a little bit more information. You don't know how to crack this, do you?
And like comes over, grabs it, plugs.
Actually, didn't I give you something that cracks this?
It makes it easier, yes. I can do this on my own, but this device helps. And going to try and bypass.
It would be Insight Operate.
Difficulty.
It would be a 4 normally.
What
Bypass
does the
kit.
Bypass kit do?
So the bypass kit will reduce that difficulty.
I'll read it. Bypass kits is my favorite tool after reading it enough. It's used by security emergency services. It has electromagnetic scramblers, radio frequency jammers, infrared dazzlers, just a whole bunch of stuff. It allows the character to attempt a skill test to unlock a locked door or disable a security system. It is a power device that recharges after a break.
I love the part that says, today they're a valuable tool for anyone trying to get into secured sections of ancient ruins. It's like so specific to what we're doing.
So I'm going to say that it will reduce the difficulty of this from a 4 to a 2.
All right. And then I'm going to, because my tool rig carries the bypass kit, I'm going to spend a spirit to get an extra dice that I can automatically re-roll. That is, I will re-roll. I had an 18. We're going to re-roll the 18. That's better. That's a 9. So that's 9, 7, 10. That's 3 successes.
Okay. So you generate a point of momentum, which you can auto spend if you need to get any spirit back.
Yep, to get that back.
Okay, so Zeke, you plug in the bypass kit and you start hacking away at this password, and you manage to unlock it. And this Word document opens up, and you begin to read the text on it. Whilst you're doing so, Jewel, you're kind of stood there next to him, waiting impatiently. And you just take a second to kind of glance around where you are. And you look at this big winch that's in front of you, that is empty. And you look behind you and you see a big winch that is full. It has a big piece of machinery attached to it. And then you look at the empty one. And you look at the floor. Kind of look around. Now that you've had a chance to kind of properly focus in on the room whilst you're looking around, you see that the floor underneath the one behind you is covered in dust like everything else. The floor underneath the empty one in front of you is clean with a path that leads out.
Yeah. Like this is where they modified.
Potentially.
This is where it happened. And Jules just going to make that assumption whether or not it's correct. This must be where they altered it.
Yes. And Zeke, you start to read the message. And at first there is some corrupted text at the top, and then you see that there is a list almost written there, a list of instructions, and kind of deciphering the random kind of technical jargon that is involved in these instructions. It is basically information on how to dismantle and reattach weaponry to and from wakers without triggering any of the safety mechanisms mechanisms. I can't say that word today. The safety protocols on them that would activate and wake up a waker so that you could safely remove and reattach weaponry to one. And then there is, underneath that, there is a note that basically says, you know, use the supplied device to activate it when ready. And then underneath there is a kind of cryptic note. It's written in the common language used here, but it's in a sense, it's if you were to say the common language was English, it's written in a kind of more broken English, kind of a little bit like pidgin English, that kind of like weird little false language you make as kids that's to hide from your parents what you're saying and stuff. And you're reading it, and you're reading it, and kind of at first you're a little bit confused because you've gone from technical information to then just what reads as nonsense. But you take a minute and you read it, and you see that it is instructions, orders to upgrade this waker, send it out so that it can destroy the local populace and make it look like an accident. And then underneath it says the mission is to retrieve the unknown artifact. Do not return until it is done. And as you read that, Zeke, I'm going to jump to a very quick break. And then we'll be back in just a few minutes. Just a quick bio break. And then we'll be back in a second. So we'll see you all in a minute. Bye. And we're back. Thank you very much for sticking around. So to very quickly recap the what has happened up to now, The group, having defeated a Waker in Saleco Camp, have decided to trace its origins and see if they can work out why it was here and where it came from. In doing so, they went southeast of the camp through a bit of wilderness and into some kind of low shrubland at the base of a mountain range. On the way, they found two bodies that they believe to be potentially thralls, having a lot of the characteristic known markings of a thrall, having their skin painted and coloured grey, copper wiring around their limbs, and some of the telltale weapons of thralls, as well as a weapon that a thrall wouldn't normally use. But they continued on. They did find on one of the thralls a access card and transmitter to some potential thing. But they took it and they continued on, and they got to the base of a mountain where they found a large bunker door. Zeke, using the access card and transmitter, opened the door, and then they went inside. Inside was a large room with another room at the end that all lit up, and then they went through to the other room that then has another door at the other end of that, a 20-foot by 30-foot door on the wall of a 40-foot high by 60-foot wide room. Inside this room is a lot of machinery, a lot of workshop equipment, a lot of engineering paraphernalia, some manuals on hydroelectricity and generators, as well as some big pieces of machinery hanging from like winches and stuff from the ceiling. Looking around, Jewel found an area that was a lot cleaner than the rest, and on it was a data pad. Having opened the data pad, they got through to an area that was encrypted, but Zeke, being Zeke and the techie that he is, was able to unlock it and discover a message. Whilst reading the message, Jewel put 2 and 2 together and realised that this area was all clean as if it had been used recently, making the presumption that this is where the Waker that had attacked Saleco Camp had come from and was upgraded in this bunker, this building, this room. Zeke, uncovering the message on the pad, it was a set of instructions on how to upgrade weaponry on a Waker and remove it and reattach it without triggering the Waker, and then stated that they had to use a device they were given to activate the Waker. And with some decrypting of some strange misuse of language, they found the message that the mission was to wreak havoc on the population, make it look like an accident in an attempt to kill the people who had this specific item, and the mission was to return with it. Stated that it was an unknown artifact and they were to return with it or not at all. And before we went to break, Zeke had just read this information, and I presume he's going to share with the class.
Oh yeah, Zeke just kind of basically just restates the final parts of it, like the overview. This is used to instructions to attach weapons to a Waker, but the attack is planned, coordinated to retrieve the box.
Okay, well, surely there's more than just... All right, hold on. Do we think... do you know who this came from? Is this the Thralls that wrote this, or the Thralls, are they taking commands from someone else? Is there any sort of signature or any indication of...
And that's what I'm hopefully trying to... I know a lot of it's corrupted data, so I don't know if there's anything else I can find. I'm on this.
I will say there's not much else you can find, no. Because of your infatuation with Thralls, shall we say, and their just being their essence, their being their lifestyle, their technology, and what you know and what you've researched, this does not match Thralls and Thrall behavior, shall we say. So this appears to come from a third party, shall we? It's probably the best way.
And this third party also described as an unknown artifact.
Yes.
And is it safe to make a general assumption that a third party delivered this message and in theory was delivered to thralls, since thralls seem to have been escorting the previous waker. At least a number of them, except 2 have perished and the others went missing.
I would say it is safe to assume that this message was given to a number of people that show behaviors and characteristics of thralls, except for the use of weapons that thralls wouldn't normally use, such as the spark thrower, because thralls are very much a melee weapon group. They don't use projectile weapons. There is no reflection on the number of people within the group this was given to. You have encountered 2 dead bodies on your way. There are no signs that there were more footprints outside of those 2. Or in your current
What
position.
if there are still more of them in here? And they have orders to get our item. How do they know that we are even carrying it to begin with? Is it putting out a signal or something?
I have one last context question, Jim. Did the first body we discovered had any crystalline on it that we could see?
Not that was uncovered during the cursory search.
Okay.
You didn't exactly strip that person's clothing off to see, whereas the other one, it had an open area of where the clothing was not covered.
And I'm not saying I'm an expert on thralls, but the idea of the crystalline stuff is just nothing. I got
Nothing. No.
So Bixby, after hearing this, just sort of like starts frantically looking through stuff and like pulling stuff out of his jacket. And like, well, as far as I see it then, and don't judge me for this, Jewel, but we have one recourse. We bring this place down and leave. And he's like,
no.
Yes.
Kid, you can.
Yes, it's like
Kid, you can make a bomb. You're great at it.
it's like a head of operations or something is happening here.
We can't blow this up. We have to find out.
What do you mean we can't?
We need to know what. If you blow it up at the front, you'll never know what is at the depths. We need to know what.
Danger is at the depths. Danger.
And if we don't find out what danger, it will find another way to surface.
That is not our job.
It may not
We
be our
are
job.
tasked in getting this safely to the archivists, and the further in there you go, just to appease some goal that you have, some interest, some curiosity that you can't help, the more that you take us all away from our actual goal here.
It's not about the curiosity. If they are able to have instructions on how to adjust a waker, and they were doing this for the artifact, if there is more, do you not think they will bring an army of them to Deepwood Archives, to New Mossgrove?
Well, I think if that is the case,
destroy this place.
we buy ourselves some time by bringing this one down. We get to Deepwood Archives, and we find out as much as we can about that thing before they send more of them after us.
I gotta say, I kind of agree with both you guys. Look, I think we should go deeper just to make sure, get this whole place destroyed, right? Because here's the thing: we blow up this room, and there's more wakers hidden back there, right? They might not get damaged. They might wake them up. We might be unleashing a bunch of harm on a lot of people. We got to know exactly what we're dealing with, and then destroy all of it.
All right. Yes. Okay. Move quietly. Don't activate anything.
Yes. We just need to
Fine.
know what we're dealing with, and then we get rid of it.
We are getting rid of it.
Yes. As we'll take the new data pad, and just use my data search device, get that onto there as well, and store that away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are you doing now?
Guess
Kinda
we're
like-
going to continue onwards. Yeah.
Going in deeper.
To the next door.
Okay. Before we go further, how would I do this? I want to create something that like a tripwire, and I don't know how many supply it would take, but like a tripwire to just make a bunch of noise if someone walks through one of the doorways we came in.
So behind
so
us.
So we know that someone's not coming home.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say that's Easy enough for you to do with the bits of supplies you have on you. You can make a the doorway that you come through. That's the 8-foot wide opening of the room's door. You can tie a piece of wire along that has like some jingly bits attached to it. That's the technical term. Bits of shrapnel and scrap that you've attached to it. So if anyone does hit it, it will make a noise, but it'll also pull something over that will make a louder bang as it hits the floor.
Yeah, maybe one of the trolleys with tools on it.
Yeah.
Just to, Cool. All right. Let's go further in.
With that, Zeke will kind of head towards the next door that's closed and first see if it has its own opening protocol before I try to see if I need to do a remote, like if there's a open switch.
So to the left of this door, there is what appears to be a terminal on the wall. That is the control mechanism to open it.
I'm gonna go to the terminal, see how it works.
Okay. It looks like a simple button press system.
All right. Okay, let us see what we are dealing with. And then going to press to open.
Okay. You press the button, you hear a little audible beep, and you hear the static of a generator powering up, and you hear the kind of zhin, 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 like the lights were doing previously. And after a moment, the door opens, and you see light from in that room as well. As they open fully, you see that this is a 20-foot wide corridor by 20 foot high, and it's probably 200 feet long. Looking at the sides, again, this is a full metal floor, wall, ceiling, but there appears to be some form of glass that goes the entire length on both sides. That starts at about 4 feet up to 15 feet at its top on both sides, but you cannot see through that glass.
Like just because from where we are, or is there something about the glass that makes it not
something about it that makes it non-transparent?
Okay, so for like on a side, is it like a two-way mirror? Is it reflective like mirror, or is it just like black kind of thing?
It's not mirrored, it's black. It's like
Okay.
the light from the room reflects off it, so you can see yourself in it, but it's like it's
How far?
like blackened, almost like it's tinted.
How far in was that?
So that's as you enter this very large corridor, as it were. It's from like, it starts like 2 feet in from the door, goes the full 250 feet.
Okay,
length.
along just one side?
Both
sides. Oh, this feels very fish tanky.
Can my hand scanner see through this
No.
glass? No. Okay.
Don't like it. And I'm gonna just specify that I'm not going to, but Joel is whispering now, like is not like, I think we should stay very quiet. We have no idea if something is looking at us right now. I can't see if I put on the night vision goggles, can I?
No, because the
So
room
they
is
have
fully
light.
lit, so you're kind of the night vision is
Okay.
blinded.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is there like a control panel, terminal anywhere in this room?
So, taking a look around, you see no control panels on the walls that would have anything to do with the windows. You see another door at the far end, but looking down immediately, because at first you're kind of looking, you're seeing the length, you're seeing the windows, but looking down to the side, you see that there appears to be two knapsacks, almost two bed areas that have been placed there in a makeshift fashion.
This is where those our two friends outside were staying.
Yeah, it makes sense they would stay here while they're working on the modifications and stuff. Well, I mean, assuming it was the thralls themselves who were working on it, maybe they were just waiting for somebody.
Could be. Perhaps they stumbled upon this area or broke in, you know what I mean? It seems like they were on a mission.
Zeke, is there a way to deactivate whatever's happening to these glasses, the glass walls here?
That I can see. Is this place also dusty, perchance?
It is. The floor is dusty, apart from you can see footsteps that kind of move around it, presumably from the two occupants of the knapsacks that were in here.
I'm gonna go to one of the windows, and I would like to see if I can assess how thick or dense the material is.
Mm-hmm. Make me an insight study.
Insight study difficulty
3.
All right, so we're gonna spend at least one spirit because I need to. It's a 5, a 9, and a 10. That's 3 6. Yeah, that's 3 successes. My insight's a 12.
Okay, cool. So you take a moment to study this, and it appears to be a material similar to hardened glass. But what you do notice is that there is some sort of nano-weaved material that runs through it all, which has added additional strength and durability to it. And maybe this material is what has caused its lack of transparency. But it appears that potentially it could be a powered material.
Do I have a way to train? Oh wait, but I need my glitch or discharge only works with machines that can see.
Yes.
But it's nano weaved. Is there a way?
Well, they said something about a generator, right?
This generator is powering this place. It is supplying power.
Is this
Turned it off.
Is there like a door at the end of this 200 feet?
Yes.
Oh, perhaps we just move through until we can find the source of the power.
All right.
Yeah, I think so. We're only going to get our answers if we keep, digging deeper.
And
Right.
so, continuing forward, Zeke is specifically looking for anything that looks like anything I can interface with in any capacity.
Okay. So as you move along this large corridor to the end where the other door is, this door is again 20 foot by 20 foot in size, and there is a control panel next to it.
I'm gonna go for the. I'm gonna check it to make sure it is to the door, and if so, then you did a breath.
So it appears to be a control panel to the door, but it appears to have been tampered with.
Tampering with, like, broken,
As
or
in, someone has attempted to access it, failed, so they have attempted to remove it.
does it still look functional at all, or is it like the tampered broke it?
It looks slightly broken. It looks repairable, but
what's the level of the damage, or tech level of the damage?
6.
Okay, so my kit is not strong enough on its own, but my toolkit level 3 lets me repair things that are 1 level higher than it, so I can do at least up to 4. My tech level is a 6.
So I will say you can attempt to repair it, but there will be a high difficulty to it.
You know what? I'm demonstrative. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
What's the difficulty? Let's do this.
5.
I'm gonna pop a guidance in as well. So spend a spirit.
So I'm gonna spend 3 spirit by default, just so we start this off. My repairs are usually insight operate. If that's the case here.
Yes.
Cool. So, can I perchance use my supply points to get more tools that may be more specific to. No, I can't. My supply points only can do powered stuff.
You've got one success already.
We're gonna
Only need
spend
4.
3 spirit just because we need to make sure. That is, I need 4. I only have 3. I can re-roll. I'm only able to get 3 from that.
So that would be 4 successes.
Yeah, that's 4 successes altogether.
Okay, I'm going to spend 2 threat. just because. So Zeke, you attempt to kind of rewire this control panel that appears to have been damaged as someone has tried to access it and kind of break through it to gain access to the other room. You spend a couple of moments reattaching some wires and some connectors and kind of repairing some broken wires. And it looks like you get in there, and then you grab one wire that is green and yellow, like it has green and yellow on it. That's usually an earth in the UK. And you connect it to another wire that is green and yellow, and there is a very sharp, very quick, high-pitched bang sound, and you're thrown back about 3 feet. The tips of your fingers are singed. You've been electrocuted before. This isn't the first time that's happened, but you've taken
why I wear leather.
Yeah, you've taken a slight shock as you connected 2 wires you thought were fine that have clearly been mislabeled and mismarked within the system, but you're unable to repair the panel that would give you access further into this facility.
Because of threat?
That's what I spent it for.
Like as Z kind of is like leaning there, sits up.
You're right.
There's like a bit of like that smoke singe coming from it, but you can actually even see some electricity kind of discharging off like the leather and the metal pieces of like the way he's embedded it. Fine. The wires are more than just tampered. They are once done correctly to begin with. It is
okay.
So, is it about time that we blow this place up? I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record, but...
Well, we should perhaps see what's in the next room. Oh, wait. Was this to open that door?
It was.
I could not, but they tampered with it too much. It is, whatever's behind the door is, in theory, sealed.
Well, great.
If we blow this place up, do you think that might unseal the door? I mean, I guess we'll find out, but... I mean, I think we do need to destroy it, otherwise to stop them from coming in here and making more of these things.
Well, it's like cooked into the side of the mountain, right? Is that the deal with this, or the side of a hill?
Yeah, I think it was like in mountains, like a mountain canal.
Yes. Yeah. Well, no, the canal itself is a bit further away. This door is like on the side of a mountain. In essence, it looks like a mountain-based bunker.
What if we also just sealed each door in this way as we exit it? Break the mechanisms, or maybe you can encrypt them in a way that would take a long time to get through if we're worried about freeing something.
If I using my if I use the bypass kit plus a data reroute and apply a glyph circuitry into the program and then reverse its signal, in theory only someone exponentially capable would be able to bypass my own systems, and then if I add a secondary failsafe, it would be able to malfunction and short circuit and shut it down further.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Turning this place on would make it collapse on itself.
I think that's a good sort of like a trap type situation, but I do have to say, whoever was here before and turned on a waker, that's that's kind of smoke I don't want, and I feel like that person's probably pretty far advanced.
Well, I don't know. Apparently, this wiring was done all wrong.
They attempted to get through and they could not. I saw their mistakes, corrected it. Unfortunately, the initial wiring was also faulty to begin with.
All right. I mean,
Look,
I think whatever we do to get out of here.
Yes, I think we should. I like this. I think we should encrypt it, lay a trap, so that if they do manage to crack it, that it backfires on them in some way. But that way, we're not concerned about whatever may be behind these doors and freeing that via an explosion or whatever. But we keep it as closed, this entire area as closed as we can.
Of course. Yes, let's retreat back.
Let us know how we can help you.
I will close the secondary door and then secure the primary and loop them together with the power generator, and it'll just create a loop.
Okay, so let's back out of this room, one door
Yes.
at a time.
And so in theory, when we back out, Zeke will shut down, use the same panel to access it, basically lock it, secure it, and create a loop connecting it to the power source, so that if someone does get past the first lock, the power will just shut this whole system down. Because I also want to connect it to my data pad so I can know if someone tried.
Interesting. Okay, make me an insight operate. Difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3. I'm gonna spend the 2 spirit for
I
that.
know what you're trying to do, so I have an idea for it that will work.
Can
That's
I assist here?
Yeah, by all means, if you need to.
I'm useless.
okay, I got
but
5
Jewel's
successes.
trying, because Jewel's like, yeah, no, let's help. Yep. Yeah, what you're doing, that, yes.
I got 5 successes with
Okay,
that.
cool. So you got more than
It's
you
like
needed.
when someone's really good in the kitchen and someone is trying to help. But
Yeah.
Okay.
With you said it was difficulty 3. I'm gonna spend like 3 momentum to get 2 spirit back,
Okay.
and I get 1 back because it was a difficulty 3. That puts me back to 5.
Okay, cool. So, to narrate this little section a little bit, you all begin to leave this uncovered facility, and as you do, you close each door, and Zeke, you start setting up this electronic trap, as it were, to power surge the locks and everything as you move out. And you do it to each door, and then you get to the outside door, and the terminal to this one is on the inside. You start hacking and programming this terminal. At the same time, you have the transmitter and access card, and you program that as well, so that you can then keep that as part of your EGOT and your system. But what you've programmed is that if someone was to access the outside door, it would send a long range signal, because you've managed to bypass some power to that to amplify its signal strength. So it will send a long range signal to the access pad and keycard that you have. As the keycard is the corresponding code, it'll only be able to ping that, and it wouldn't ping anything else, any other electronic device there. So that is your kind of in essence a detection truth that we've put on this situation. So if anyone tries to open that front door, you will know. How soon after you will know is determined by how far away you are.
Yeah.
But you will know if someone has that. And you set that up, and you lock this facility down. Quick question to the group. What are you doing now? Are you heading back to Saleco Camp, or and Cap,
Well, do
who
you
is
think-
resting there, or are you moving on, or what are you doing?
There's got to be more of them that were involved. We have to. I think if we can, it's get in, get Cap out, but as quietly as possible. If anything, we might as well have the folks of Saleco Camp think that we're still there. Whatever we can to sort of divert where anyone questioning would figure out we are. Do you know what I mean? Just sort of like subterfuge in some way. That way, if the thralls come in, or if they have some spy or something, they won't know where we're headed.
I mean, shouldn't we warn the elders? These things, they're not just programmed to come after us, right? They're programmed to hurt all sorts of people. I mean, this probably isn't the only place where they're being powered up. I mean, I can't imagine it's all just here, right?
No, they're programmed to come after us. They were just making it look like they were sort of doing wanton destruction, but we are who they're after.
Yeah, to clarify, the Waker took a direct path to Saleco, right? It wasn't like a trying to figure out where to go. It was
it was a direct path. It was from the footsteps you uncovered. It appears that the two individuals that had died were leading the Waker directly to Saleco Camp.
And just to do like a flashback thought, did the Waker actually when it entered Saleco, it went straight to where we were at, or did it like just go to town and start going ham from the town?
It went to town and began to just.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you remember what the note said, it was to cause just to massacre everyone.
But it
and make it look like an
there.
accident, so it was led there and then let loose.
So wherever we go, we had a mark on our back that could lead a whole trail of destruction. Do we want to bring that back to Saleco, or should we just try and get this item to safety?
Sequence, I want to check the box and see if I now have several long range, short range frequency. Is it
something that's emitting? Yeah.
Yeah, how are they tracking us? Either they've been following us, or there's something that they're actually able to track this thing. So I want to see if I can detect any frequency that's being emitted from it.
You don't need to roll for this. I'll say you're able to do this level of detection. This thing is, as it stands, it is inert. There is nothing over it. And the note you had, they even described it as an unknown artifact. You could make the presumption they don't know what it is themselves.
How did they find this?
Only the elders of each of the tribes selected us. I mean, there was that elder back at Saleco. He saw us, and then the next day that thing showed up.
Someone may have tracked us, or one of them may.
Can I timestamp I kept the data pad when the message was sent to do the attack. When was that message timestamp sent?
I'm
was
gonna
it?
Say it was before you set off on this trip. Because if you remember from when you were given the item, it was found roughly a week before, or at least it fell from the sky a week before. There was a retrieval that same day, but then there was an encounter at the retrieval site where there was an attack. Luckily, the Guardians managed to retreat with it, so it was roughly shortly after that, but before you set off.
So it's been at least a week since that message was sent, give or take, based on our travel time and how long. But they also knew we were at Saleco. So with that, Zeke kind of goes, somebody has to know that we have it and where we are. This is not like somebody at Saleco knew we were there and told them. They had already planned to make this thing to attack, but they didn't attack New Moscow where it would have been. They chose where we were.
Right.
The elders did not know we would be at Saleco when we were there.
Yeah, they've been tracking us. We need to try and throw off our trail.
I don't like to think of it, but someone at Saleco might also be working with thralls and whoever did this.
Yes,
for them to know we were there.
Yeah, they may have reported we were there. I don't know if we should go back. Cap knows our destination. I have confidence that they could find us. Meet us there when they're better. I don't know.
Yeah, and trying to move them while they aren't fully recovered either might not be a good idea.
Right.
I think we should go to, but then we should avoid everyone until we get there.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let's just set off now.
Yes.
On the way out, if we pass by those bodies, it might not be a terrible idea to take disguises. And I know, yeah,
Take the clothes.
yeah. So we will have to leave 2 crushed naked bodies out in the woods, and I don't feel great about that. But at the same time,
Yeah, if you're saying that as we're like passing them, yeah, Jules already like undressing them as you.
So we know that they were, or we have a suspicion that they were not actually thralls, right? So I'm gonna try and like brush away a little of the sort of like gray like body paint, and see if there's anything that.
And we think they weren't thralls.
Or we think, I think Zeke believes they were thralls, but something about them is weird because they have the wiring, the ash and paint, but the crystal on them and their behavior doesn't make sense.
Their weapons too are not like they had spark throwers, which are not.
Yeah, like they have the other thing, the thrall electrospheres, which Zeke can identify. But yeah, spark throwers didn't make sense to have range weaponry. And I know they're very combat oriented, but not very much like, I don't think I don't think they have like techs like that. They're more like combat driven raiders and scrappers.
Mind controlled.
That's where Zeke's sitting. Like they wouldn't be. Zeke's not being mean, but Zeke doesn't think they're smart enough to program a waker.
I'm wondering if they're just not real. If they're parading around as thralls to not be seen for who they actually are.
Yeah, I'm gonna help Bixby try to double check to make sure that they are.
Okay. So
as we're stripping them.
So your plan is you have locked up this bunker and trapped it, and you have now set off back. In essence, the way you came, but is your plan not to go back to Saleco Camp, but to go back to these bodies, remove clothing to get disguises, and do a quick investigation of whether they are who they say they were.
Yeah, I think after that we're heading, and then we're just going straight south after that.
Okay. So we're gonna do something interesting here to round this out. Firstly, you head back to these bodies and you remove the clothing. You now have 2 thrall disguises. Looking at these individuals, they show all the telltale signs of being thralls. The only difference is that on both of them, there is some of this crystalline formation that has come out of certain appendages on their shoulders, on their arms. But it looks, again, this is something that has come from the body. It's organic, potentially some form of mutation or something, but it is a buildup of a mineral that has formed in the body and protruded and in kind of calcified, as it were. We've not seen it before. That you know of.
Well, if your mind control theory might be about on point there, if something's controlling them, it could be this weird, creepy crystal thing.
Crystals. Oh gosh, I wish Cap were here. I bet they'd know what this is.
He's gonna try one thing, just one thing. I would like to double check if those crystals are emitting any form of data or frequency.
They are not.
Okay, so my worst nightmare
are the crystals a machine?
So, you check the bodies. They appear to be thralls with some weird crystal stuff. You have disguises. You have what you need, apart from Cap, who is in town, in Saleco, unconscious, but you know that they know where they're going, and the hope is that when they come round and they have recovered, they will make their own way south to meet up with you. So you now, with your stuff, set off to Deepwood Archives. What's going to happen now is I'm going to spend all my remaining threat. I'm going to ask you all to take your headphones off whilst I narrate something to our audience, and then once I have finished that narration, I will message you all to put your headphones back on.
Very nice.
I don't like
Okay.
this, but yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Here goes.
Here we go.
So, in a very cinematic way, our group sets off south to Deepwood Archive. As the movie camera follows them on their track south, it slowly begins to pan to the east, back to the mountain, back to the entrance of this bunker that they have just left. We see the camera go through that first door into the bunker, and we see the lights inside are still on. But slowly they begin to turn off, and you hear that zhun, zhun, zhun as the lights turn off. And we keep moving deeper and deeper, and we get to the long corridor, this 200 to 250 feet long corridor with the glass on either side. And we see the lights begin to turn off from the front to the back. And as they turn off and they go zhun, 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 their way to the end of this corridor, we see the control panel that Zeke electrocuted himself on. As the last light turns off where that control panel is, all we see is a little green dot flash. And then we see a spark. And then as it sparks, there is a slight glow that emits from these long windows on either side that you have been unable to see through, and the group could not access. And as it glows and it fades, we suddenly see red lights, thin red dot lights emitting from either side. And you see one turn on, and another, and another, and another, and another. Until the glass on either side is almost filled with glowing red dots. And then, in a cacophony of sound from each of these glowing red dots, we hear as something begins to stir. And that is where we will leave the end of this session. And I will bring the cast back from this moment. So, this is where we will end the session. Thank you all for watching at home.
Great.
We'll pick this back up in our next end of the game. The next session will be our final for this little story. Thank you all very much for watching so far. Thank you to my players for letting me terrify them a little bit at the end there. But before we end, we're going to quickly run around the table, as it were, let you know where you can find us all and what we're doing and what we're up to and where we are and all that stuff again. And then we'll see you all next time. So we will go anti-clockwise to start with Zeke.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've been playing Zeke Tenets, but I am Jaden King. I'm a little thrown off by what just happened because I don't know what's going on, and that's hard for me. You can find me on all social media at It's Jaden King. I'm doing all kinds of things. I'm actually in the process of getting my own TTRPG game designed, inspired by amazing stuff. It's a Grim Hope experience where I get my Afrocentric enjoyment and my urban fantasy push for things. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I'm here on Modiphius. I'm over on Red Arian on the initiative order. Hopefully, we'll be getting some things back. Danny, it's happening. And I don't know, check out D&D in a Castle. They said, I think there's a few spots left for my table for an epic experience. So come check it out if you like some Grim Hope fantasy.
Thank you very much. Next up is Crassus.
Hi, I'm Logan. I'm playing Crassus Sparksong. You can find me at Logan Quinn Film on Instagram, or watch me do some video game roleplay at Tank Loves You on Twitch.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Bigsby, we're up.
Hi, my name is Phil Correa. You can find me on pretty much all socials at mphilipcorrea. I am doing a podcast right now called GGG, or the Golden Glaze Gaming Podcast. Talk about video games. It's a lot of fun. And outside of that, you can find me on TikTok, I guess, doing lots of sketches. I'm going to try every week. I'm going to have a new one that I throw out. It's something else that I'm doing.
Whoa.
Next week, my live journal is going to make its debut. So just wait. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jewel, you're up.
Yes, hi, I'm Josephine McAdam. You can find me at JCVIM on all social medias, on Twitch as well. I stream all throughout the weekdays. We're playing some Baldur's Gate 3 and Ghost of Tsushima right now. I still do a little piano playing over there. But if movies are more your deal, you can check out my IMDb. I've got a few stuff that you can find on various streaming platforms, and love for you to check it out. I also have a short film that I did earlier this year called High Stakes that you can watch over on Good Time Society's YouTube channel that we released in October. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And even though they're not here, our Dreamer Grabber Cap was played by Rachel. You can find them on Instagram at Manic Pixie Tank Girl, and you can find their amazing design work over at Bad Duck Design as well. Yes, and before we go, I'm Danny. You can find me at Check for Traps on all social media, doing whatnot, and I'm the project manager for Dreams Machines here at Modiphius. So I have all the secrets. That's why I know more than these guys do. But yes, thank you very much. Don't forget to check out our other actual plays that we have on the Twitch channel and on YouTube. We have our Winter of Atom campaign. It's our Fallout game done by April Hill, our community manager. And we also have our Star Trek Adventures series going on, which is run by Samantha, who is our head of brand here at Modiphius. So all the people in the know running all the things. It's very fun. Yes, so thank you very much for joining us. Check out the VODs at Modiphius Live on YouTube. Check everything out. We'll see y'all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Send help.